Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to do an experiment. We're going to test 3 different stiffening agents and see how they perform on a 3-dimensional snowflake. I have crocheted enough motifs. For this we're going to use 3 different stiffening agents, so we're going to need 9 motifs. We're going to need 3 for the back, and then I have 6 for the sides. The stiffening agents we're going to try are Eileen's Tacky Glue, or if I could find it, my Crazy Art school glue. I can't find it, so we're going to use the Tacky Glue. Basics spray starch and Mod Podge. I don't use this product a lot, and I got it because I had a half off coupon and I wanted to see what everybody was saying about it, if it would work for what I need it to work for. So this is an unknown. I have used the spray starch and the Tacky Glue, or the school glue, on my doilies, other snowflakes, and it works good. But let's just do a test and see how they all hold up. I think the first thing we'll do is we will get started. The first thing we will try is, let's do the spray starch, because that we're spraying it, it's going to get all over everywhere. So I think we'll start with this one. We're going to mark it spray starch. We'll just write starch. All right, and we're going to shake it and test it. Okay, and we're going to saturate it. Okay, we have a nice puddle there, and let's take our brush and kind of whoop it over around so we get more on the fabric and less on the plastic wrap. I went ahead and I blocked these all because if you have watched my making a dimensional snowflake takes time, and I'll put a link to that in the video description if you haven't seen that one yet. That goes into all the details on blocking and how you should be careful with your stiffening agents and why some of my tails are left on. So that covers a lot that we're not going to be covering in this video because I've already covered it. So this looks pretty good here. I'm hoping there won't be much. All right, so this one here is the starch. So I think because I have my paintbrush already starched up, let's go ahead and do our pinned ones. And again, we're going to mark this as, how did I write? Starch. Starch. That way we won't get them confused and mixed up. And let's just go ahead and, how can I do this now so you can see? See if I'm any good left-handed. I want to make sure I put enough on here to give it a fair test. All right, this looks pretty good. I'm making a mess of my table over here. So we'll go ahead and spread this out. Just want to give it the best. I have my doubts about how successful a starch snowflake is going to hold its shape, but like I said, I want to give it a fair try. That's why it's the same pattern, the same weight of string, and even the same color. All right, so the starch one is done. The next one I think we should try is the Mod Podge. We'll go ahead and mark, we'll do the center one here, Mod Podge. We'll just call him Podge. And I'll go ahead and I'll get started with stiffening this one. All right, Mod Podge one is done. It seems to soak it in pretty good. I'm hoping it'll soak in a lot of this excess I have on here, because if it doesn't, it's going to fill all the little loops and picots and all that stuff on the stitching. So we have two done. We have the spray starch and the Mod Podge. So we're going to set him aside. And this one, we're going to mark Podge. And we'll go ahead and start stiffening this up. And I like how thick it is. It doesn't roam around. It pretty much stays where you put it. I like that. When I used to do starching of my snowflakes, I used to mix up enough glue water that I could just dunk my snowflake right in the container of glue, swash it around a little bit, and then I could squeeze out the excess. But then I had to work with this awful wet sticky mess. My fingers stuck to stick pins, and the strings from my snowflakes stuck to my fingers, and it was just made the whole process a lot harder. So I just started taking the time and painting it on. If you guys have a better way of doing this where your fingers aren't going to get all sticky, I'd be interested in hearing about it, but I haven't found any that I'm happy with. Okay, so that one is half is done. I'm going to go ahead and finish the other three sides, and then we'll come back. All right, this is done. We have that side and that side, and I put an extra serving across the seam like we did the starch. So that one is done. Now we're going to do the tacky glue. So we roll tacky. And I have a little bit of it mixed up, so we'll go ahead and use this up. And then I'll make some more. And we'll just do the same process that I did with the other ones. Just give it an ample coating. The Mod Podge soaked in good. It didn't seem to sit on the surface of the threads. It went right down in there. So that's good. The glue is responding the same way that the Mod Podge did. It's soaking in. Both products filled the holes of the thread design, so we probably are losing some ground there, but so far the products are pretty much behaving equally well. Ease of application is the same, messiness is the same. I should be able to, I don't know, depending on what I've got going tonight, because I am crocheting a doily, a 13-inch across doily. I'm trying to get that done, so we may just come up tomorrow, unpin these, glue them together and see what we got, so I can just focus on that doily tonight, because I'd like to show you how I block and stiffen those. And if it wasn't such a time-intensive process, that we could do a product comparison on that too, but it takes, let's see, what have I got? I've got about 12 hours into this doily already, so that's not feasible. Besides, if I had two of the same pattern, the same color, what would I do with them? Just like I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these snowflakes, but I just wanted to see what the difference is. Alright, they are all stiffened, blocked, and ready to do their drying process. This evening I'm going to come up and I'll check them and we'll see how things look. How do they look now? Well, the tacky glue, everything has soaked in. Looks good. The Mod Podge is leaving a lot of I don't know if you can see it, product inside the holes. Okay, it looks really slimy and coated. The starch looks like the glue, it's soaked into all the fibers. The starch is a darker blue. Tacky is more of the original color, and the Mod Podge, simply because it may be super wet, is just an off color. Alright, that's the differences that I see right now. So we'll wait till they get dry and then we'll come back up and take the pins off and put them together and take it from there. Dry overnight, and I think it's time we take the stick pins off, and then we will start seeing how the stiffness factor rates in for each of our separate products. So let's get started. I took all the pins off, but I didn't move the snowflakes. Right away I noticed a problem. I took it off the starch first, and it's very, the string is soft like it was when I was crocheting. It seems to be very pliable. The Mod Podge is sparkly like it would be if it was truly ice crystals, and it seems to be very stiff. The tacky glue is, you can't really see anything on it at this point, and it seems to be very stiff. It's glued very well to the stick pins. So let's go ahead and start with the starched one, just because I'm really concerned and it's very limp. I don't think we're going to be able to have this hold its position at all. We're going to go ahead and cut this string off now. And we'll take the two that was starched, and they're not going to be able to work. We're not going to be able to make a snowflake out of these because there's just no stiffness. It's all give. So it's just barely holding its shape. I'm going to say for a dimension of snowflakes, starch is not the stiffening agent we want. The starch snowflakes are a failure. We're going to go ahead and put those to the side. And then I think we will select the Podge, Podge. Scoop him off. And it has left a lot of residue on the sides. Let's see if I can get it to catch in this. So you can see it up here and down here. It's got a lot of residue I'm going to have to clean off, but it's very stiff. It's holding its shape. There's no wobble to it. So far it looks good, other than being really dirty. Messy. So we'll go ahead and take that, put it there, and get this one's and to do this I'm just using my vegetable scoop, because that way it'll lift off flat. This held its place, its shape, but you can see all the excess product on it. We'll lay that there, and we'll go ahead and get this one off. Alright, so these are holding their shape pretty good. But there's a lot of excess product on it that just is stuck to it. But as far as stiffness goes, it's doing very well. It's just really dirty. I don't know if you can see it on my hand. Yeah, there's a piece there and a piece there. And it's full of it. It's going to take me a while to clean that up. So let's go ahead and set this to the side and get our last one, which is glue. And this one is holding its shape very well. It doesn't have as much residue laying all over. So let's go ahead and take these off. Actually, let's just try lifting this off. That might work pretty good. Alright. These held their shape pretty good. Again, there isn't a lot of residue on it. both the Mod Podge and the glue, the string no longer feels like the string. You can feel the product is on it, whereas the starch has no holding power and it's very soft, but the yarn or the string still feels like the string. So we're just going to go ahead and assemble these. I think we'll keep it in order, and we will assemble the Mod Podge first. Okay, let's go ahead and I think we'll just go like that. We'll put the glue on here. Okay. Let's put a hook on it. And this is the Mod Podge dimensional snowflake. We'll go ahead and hang this up, and then we'll assemble the tacky glue. And same procedure. Glue down the seam. This one is a little more flexible. It's another string, but I can't get that one off because it's glued down. So we'll just go ahead and put this other piece on. Stick it in there. guess we don't, there it is. Alright, and this one is the tacky glue. Let's go ahead and put a hook on him. Okay, we have, I'm sorry to say, Starch is not even going to try to go together, because you can see this one and this one were the dimensional aspect of it, and there's not even any trying. So I'll put that there, and maybe I can do a different project with it. This is the Mod Podge. This is the tacky glue. They both held up pretty good. Well, actually really good. The tacky glue actually is more pliable, because when I was working it, it kind of deformed this angle on this side. It didn't leave as much excess product on it, and I like that. It doesn't make the color of the yarn shiny, but it does change the feel of the yarn. The string, I'm sorry. This one is the Mod Podge, and it's got product all over it. It's a mess as far as that goes, but it seems to be more willing to hold the shape of the snowflake. It also changed the color and the feel of the string. It's harsh, it's not soft. But I would say either one of these two products is satisfactory if you're trying to manipulate crocheting string or any other kind of embroidery floss, maybe, to make it hold its shape so it does something different like you want it to. I would say these two are a success, and I would definitely use both products again. The Starch I would not use if I wanted to do a project like this. I hope this gives you a little bit of insight on what each of these products will and will not do. And I hope you come back and watch again. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.